परम दयाल प्रभु परम दयाल राम कृष्ण प्रभु परम दयाल
परम दयाल प्रभु परम दयाल राम कृष्ण प्रभु परम दयाल अम्बे मात की जय.
Page 37. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashtavinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Moria.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah.
भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय। श्री गणपति
भगवान की जय. We'll all sing together Kim Vachaniyam, page 34. Kim Vachaniyam Guru Mahima. Kim Vachaniyam Guru Mahima. Kim Vachaniyam Guru Mahima. Kim Vachaniyam Guru Mahima. Guru Mahima. श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
On page 104. जननी जननी माहेश्वरी जननी
जननी जननी माहेश्वरी जननी
जननी जननी माहेश्वरी जननी
जननी जननी माहेश्वरी जननी
जगतारिणी परिपूरणी माहेश्वरी जननी
जगतारिणी परिपूरणी माहेश्वरी जननी
जगतारिणी परिपूरणी माहेश्वरी जननी
जगतारिणी परिपूरणी माहेश्वरी जननी
शक्ति स्वरूपिणी जननी
शक्ति स्वरूपिणी जननी
शक्ति Shri Ambe Ambe Mata Ki Jai. Om, revered Pravdadika Ishtaprana Mataji, respected elders, dear sisters, brothers, and loving children, Om Namo Narayanaya. It gives me immense joy to welcome each one of you to this evening's special Satsang to celebrate the sacred day of Sri Guru Purnima. Sri Sarada Devi said, "One must have reverence for one's Guru." We are indeed blessed that revered Mataji will speak to us on this auspicious day. We lovingly invite Mataji to address us.
Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Shri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters, brothers, and loving children. We are always very happy to see you, and today is a very, very auspicious day, and we feel that it is definitely through the grace of the Guru that we can gather together on this very holy day to sing the praises of Lord. I offer my salutations again and again at the feet of my revered Guru, through whose grace I am here today. As Hindus, we are very fortunate to have so many different festivals, each of which remind us of the divinity within and how to make it manifest in everyday life. So we may ask, how can we find a true Guru? Our revered Guruji, Sri Swami Shivapadananji Maharaj, used to say that we must first begin with practicing sadhana. We must practice spiritual disciplines ourselves and prepare our minds to receive the grace of the Guru. The grace is flowing incessantly, as the Master says, but how can we get hold of this grace, or how can we recognize it? We must make a habit of chanting God's name and practicing meditation regularly. So also, it is important to lead a moral life, be truthful, be kind and patient, and try to be helpful rather than find fault. If we prepare ourselves also by keeping holy company, studying the scriptures, and being in this habit of remembering God, then we will recognize the true Guru when we meet one. Young Naren, then later who became Swami Vivekananda, had a very inquiring mind, and he would never believe anything until he saw it for himself, until he saw the truth. So when many people said that Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation of God, or he's God realized, he said, "No, I won't believe it until I see it for myself." But he himself became a spiritual giant through the grace of the Master, but we must know that he prepared his mind to receive this grace. And the grace from Master was flowing all the time. And as much as Naren had doubts, ultimately he realized that Sri Ramakrishna is none other than the Parabrahman itself. Naren knew that there is something higher to achieve in life rather than eating, working, sleeping, doing merrymaking and all of that. He knew that there is something spiritual behind this world, and whenever anyone spoke about God, he would ask, "Have you seen God?" And of course, no one could give him a direct answer until he came to the Master, who said, "I see God more clearly than I can see you." And also Master said, "You too can see God." We know that Naren tested Sri Ramakrishna on several occasions, and though he saw with his own eyes how the Master transformed so many devotees, transformed the lives of so many, he could still not believe that Master is God himself. He used to say, as many people still think, how is it that you are worshipping a human being, you are worshipping a man? But only when we read the Master's life, only when we study that Master, as M would have said, knew nothing but God and God alone. M was Mahendranath Gupta, he said, inside him is only God. So, Naren also felt, no, this is a human being, it cannot be God. So when the Master was ill, many of us may be familiar, Master was at the Kosipo Garden House and lying in bed almost, within a few days he would probably leave the body. And Naren thought to himself that even now, if he can say that he is God, I will believe him. And in a twinkling of an eye, Master asked Naren, "Oh Naren, you still doubt this?" Master pointed to himself, "You still doubt?" And Master said, "He who was Rama and he who was Krishna is now Ramakrishna in this body." But the important thing Master added is that, but not in your Vedantic sense. What does that mean, not in your Vedantic sense? Vedanta says that everything is God. Nothing but God exists. God permeates and pervades the entire universe. But we are also God, actually, but we do not understand this. We take ourselves to be the body-mind complex. We think that we are the body, but we forget that our real nature is Satchit Ananda. So what Master was saying is not in the sense of Vedanta. Vedanta says that everything is God. Nothing else exists but God. Not in that sense that I am God, but what Master really meant, that there is a special manifestation of God in the Master. And the main reason for that is Master thought of nothing but God. Master's mind was always merged in God thought, and even when everyone just sang devotional songs, Master used to be in Samadhi. So, ignorance veils our real nature, and our mind is filled with so many worldly thoughts, with doubts, with worldly desires and all of that. So the divine is inside us, but it cannot be seen, like Holy Mother will say, the cloud that blocks the beautiful bright sun, and we cannot see the sun because of the clouds. So the cloud of ignorance veils our divinity, whereas in Master, everything was so beautiful, brilliant, bright, full of knowledge, full of love, and in the Master's company, everyone could feel this power. Everyone could feel that it is only God who is talking to them. So, when we think about the Master, we are thinking of none other than God himself. And the values, the qualities that the Master manifested, his truthfulness, his deep wisdom, and complete non-attachment. These are some of the qualities that make us feel that everything that is contained in God is contained in the Master. So whatever we study about God, we'll find that those qualities are in Master. And even Swami Vivekananda later would say that maybe it is possible to understand something that is infinite, but it is not possible to understand the Master. He is as infinite as the Lord himself. And in a very special way, God manifested in Sri Ramakrishna. So the way now for us to understand is for us also to do our sadhana, study the scriptures, try to keep our thoughts in God as much as possible. Many sincere seekers of God recognized the greatness of the Master, of Sri Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, who themselves never considered themselves to be gurus. In fact, Master used to say, please, my ears pain when anybody calls me guru. And today, millions are worshipping him throughout the world. So, even in their lifetimes, they transformed so many people's lives by their mere presence, by a mere glance, by just touching them, they would feel this presence of God. There is a lovely story, an amazing story actually, of a young disciple, Surendra Sen, who was a great follower of Swami Vivekananda. He went to Belur Math and he requested Swamiji to initiate him. Now, on an auspicious day, Swamiji was initiating some devotees, and then he called for Surendra because Surendra wanted to be initiated. Then Swamiji, as Surendra came into the room, Swamiji began to meditate. And when Swamiji came out of this meditation, he said to Surendra, "The Master has told me that I am not your guru. He has shown me that a person greater than I will initiate you. Please don't feel discouraged. You will be initiated at the right time." Now Surendra obviously wondered, who can be greater than Swamiji? Swamiji has become world-renowned. Everybody in the world knows Swamiji, and who can be greater than Swamiji? And sometime later, Surendra had a dream in which he saw himself seated on the lap of the Master. The luminous form of a goddess appeared to him then as he was sitting on the Master's lap. A goddess appeared and said, "Here, take this mantra." So, as the Divine Mother chanted the mantra, Surendra asked, "Who are you?" And the goddess said, "I am Saraswati." Then she uttered the mantra and asked Surendra to repeat it at least 108 times every day. But Surendra never did so because he didn't have faith and he didn't believe that a thing like this can happen and the goddess can initiate him in the dream. 7 years later, when Swamiji had already passed away, Swamiji had attained Mahasamadhi and left the body, Surendra and his friend again went to Belur Math for the Durga Puja, as they have Navaratri every year, so they went. A disciple of Swamiji, that is another disciple, told Surendra and his friend to go to Jairambati to meet the Holy Mother. Up to now, Surendra had never met the Holy Mother. So they went there the next day, and Holy Mother herself called for Surendra. She asked him to bring some flowers, and she wanted to initiate him. This was a little bit unique for Surendra, but it was an auspicious day, the day of Lakshmi Puja. You know, during this Navaratri we have Lakshmi Puja. So Surendra recalled, during initiation, Mother put her right hand on my head. Can you imagine? Mother's putting the right hand on her head and her left hand under my chin, and then imparted the mantra. So Mother's hand is on his head and under the chin like this, like talking to her own son, her own child, and she gave the mantra. And as soon as I heard the mantra, the whole episode of my dream initiation flashed through my mind, and I lost outer consciousness. I felt deep inner bliss. I cannot describe the bliss that I felt. We know our gurus tell us that the mantra comes directly from God. It is very powerful. And what makes it powerful is our faith in the mantra is one thing. Secondly, we must never ever skip our sadhana. Morning and evening, every morning and evening without fail. When we do our sadhana, we chant the mantra. That mantra is purifying our hearts and minds. We don't really understand this because it's very easy to understand cleaning the outside body, but how do you clean the inside? How do we clean ourselves of all the vices, hatred, anger, jealousy, pride, greed, all of that? How do we do that? It's only through the holy name of God, but we must consciously do it. Consciously tell ourselves, I feel that I got this quality which is not good and I must change, I must transform it. And as we chant the mantra, we pray to God for that grace, and God definitely bestows that on all sincere devotees. So he says, I cannot describe the bliss that I felt. Regaining normal consciousness after some time, I saw that the mother's form and the form of the goddess in my dream were the same. In other words, he saw Mother Sarada as Mother Saraswati herself. As soon as I said, Mother, I received this mantra long ago in a dream. And Holy Mother said, well, my son, does it not tally? Means, is it not the same? You received the right mantra. I realized that Holy Mother is none other than the Universal Mother, who is all-knowing. It's a beautiful ways of the divine. God is so full of compassion, so all-knowing. It's something that we really cannot understand, but it is only our faith and the repetition of mantra that helps us. It is also very interesting to see how Swami Vivekananda inspired so many Western devotees in America, in England, in so many Western countries. They were absolutely like mesmerized by Swamiji's talks, his dynamic personality, and his deep wisdom. Many of them used to say that we hardly spoke to Swamiji and he would tell us everything about us. They didn't even know anything about Hinduism or Vedanta, the Vedanta philosophy, but there is no doubt that they felt God's unconditional grace and blessings upon them by meeting Swamiji. So you see how God doesn't only select few people. Throughout the world, this grace was flowing, this love was flowing. Miss Josephine MacLeod was an American disciple of Swami Vivekananda, and she said, one evening, Swamiji was so eloquent, and we were about a dozen people listening, or more or less 12 of them were listening. His voice became so soft and seemingly far away. When the evening was over, we all separated without even saying goodnight to each other. Such a holy quality pervaded the atmosphere. My sister, who was Mrs. Leggett, had occasion to go to one of the rooms afterwards. There she found one of the guests, an agnostic, means she had many doubts, she didn't really believe in the existence of God, and she was weeping profusely. So my sister asked, what do you mean by crying like this? In other words, we just heard such lovely words, and why are you crying? The lady said, that man has given me eternal life. I never wish to hear him again. So that means that's how powerful Swamiji's words were, and she seems as though she realized her true nature in an instant. Miss Josephine MacLeod used to say also that Swamiji used to make us realize that there is nothing secular in life. It is all holy. Always remember, you are incidentally an American. We have to say we are incidentally South Africans, and you are incidentally a woman, but always a child of God. Tell yourself day and night who you are. Never forget it. That is what he used to tell us. So such beautiful ways of reminding us of our divine nature. I remember when we used to go to yoga camps in those years by Gurudev, revered Swami Nischalananji Maharaj, and thereafter by our Guruji, Sri Swami Shivapadananji Maharaj. Those yoga camps were so uplifting. We felt we were in another world. Every Easter and every Christmas, over 3 or 4 days, depending if the holidays fell over the weekends, then it was longer, and if it was in the middle of the week, then it was 3 days. And we used to have a cottage opposite the Tongat beach. We used to go there to stay. There were more or less about 100 of us used to go, and many of them used to pitch their little tents. Others had 1 or 2 rooms were available. And early in the morning, there we learned that you must get up early to feel this grace of God. And obviously before 4 if it is possible, but try as much as we can to rise before the sun. Even our Guru used to say that in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says very clearly, I am the sun. The light that is in the sun is my light. So that is the power of God, concrete power that we can see, this luminosity, this brilliance, this beautiful bright sun. So before God in that form comes, we must be ready to receive him. So we must try and rise before the sun. And it used to be so beautiful because absolute silence used to prevail, and we used to walk without uttering a word, what they call mona. Nowadays people don't really know what the meaning of mona is. When we observe mona, means we must not talk. So those 2 or 3 times of that day, in those 3 days, it was mona time. And also Gurudev used to teach us, Swami Nischalananji Maharaj and later our Guruji, deliberately one meal during lunch, they will not put salt in the food. And everybody will make funny faces and just look at each other, but you're not supposed to talk. All these, Shirley and all sitting here, they all know about it. You're not supposed to talk, so you can't say, oh, they forgot to add salt. It's put deliberately to teach us. You will go to different places, you will eat differently. Don't be fussy about your food. Don't say, I only eat this, I don't eat that. Whatever is offered to God, have it as prasad. When we used to go to the beach, it used to be so beautiful. You see, especially early in the morning, more than 90% of the time, the ocean is very calm. You just see the waves lapping at the end of the shore, but the whole ocean is like a blanket, absolutely still and calm and very beautiful, either light blue or light green. And then you see the sun rising from above the horizon, and we used to be meditating. And this guided meditation at that time is something very beautiful. And Swamiji used to tell us, so therefore when we lit these lamps today, it was reminding me of what the Katha Upanishads say about the Atman. It is like a lamp of the size of the thumb and unflickering. You see, even in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, the mind of a concentrated yogi is like this lamp, unflickering. So when we flicker, means our mind is restless. So try to think about your Ishta Devata, or if not the Ishta Devata, you can look at the lamp and try to fix the mind on that power, on that glory that is within us. It's there already, and through the grace of the Guru, this restless mind becomes calm only through regular practice. I want to say so much more about the yoga camps, but it's already time is up. But maybe some other time we will go into detail about what we used to do at the yoga camps. Very, very inspiring, very uplifting, very beautiful. When we used to go home, it used to take the mind very long to come back to what we had to do at home. And when we used to ask our Swamiji, why is it, Swamiji, that when we are here, we are so peaceful, we are so blissful, we are so happy, but when we go home, it's not the same. Then Swamiji used to say, you see here, my child, you are reminded of who you really are. You are that Satchid Ananda. You are pure. You are divine. So we're talking about God who has all these qualities which you also have, but you haven't been able to manifest them. You haven't cultivated. Yesterday, Swami Sarada Prabhananji Maharaj said a beautiful thing. He said, weeds grow, but good plants, roses or anything good, rice is cultivated. Anything that is valuable has to be cultivated. He used to say, he said, don't let children just grow as they want. Cultivate good thoughts in them. Cultivate good habits in them. Cultivate the values that they themselves will nurture later. You have to nurture it now for them, but they will be able to stand on their own feet, face the challenges of life, and be strong if you cultivate these values in them. It's a beautiful thing, and this is what our gurus did. This is what our gurus do. And for those of us nowadays, our gurus are in India, but Master speaks through the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Krishna speaks through the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Ram speaks through the Ramayana. The great saint Tiruvalluvar speaks through the Tirukural. These are full of virtues, full of divinity, full of the ideas of what we really are. And we have to try to manifest those qualities. Then we will not get caught in this worldly drama, in this world of pain and misery, in this world of give and take. Too many opposites, pairs of opposites. Try to put the mind above the pairs of opposites. In those years, we couldn't even understand what does that mean, to go put the mind above the pairs of opposites. It's not so easy. But when you see something extremely good coming your way, and then with either the next day or that same afternoon something bad comes, something that you're not happy with, try to tell your mind, I am neither that good nor the bad. I belong to God. I must put my head at God's feet and ask God to keep me there. I must hold on to God's feet and say, oh Lord, save me from these pairs of opposites. I don't want to get caught in it. I want to be your child. I want to be pure. I want to be like human. Doesn't mean I want to be a great God, not like that at all. But those qualities, like if we think about Mother Sharda, we think about absolute divinity, absolute peace and calmness, in spite of all Holy Mother's challenges. That mental poise of hers is unbelievable, it's amazing. Through all of that, she could only give the best advice to anybody that came her way. So not that we need to give advice to anybody, for our own peace sake and for our own welfare, for our own spiritual progress, we pray to God, O Lord, bless us on this auspicious day. May we too be able to manifest our true nature. May we learn how to be calm. May we learn how to be divine. May we spread love, peace, and joy everywhere. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Om, page 31.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Guru Maharaj Jaya Jaya, Nirvikar Nirakar Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya, Yugacharya Deva Deva Ramakrishna Jaya Jaya, Brahma Shakti Brahma Vidya Sharadamba Jaya Jaya, Saraswati Mahamaya Matra Devi Jaya Jaya, Vishwaguru Divya Shaurya Vivekananda Jaya Jaya, Ramakrishna Bhavaputra Brahmananda Jaya Jaya, Mahapurusha Mahayogi Shivananda Jaya Jaya, Jagannatha Priti Putra Yogananda Jaya Jaya, Divya Yogi Mahatyagi Turiyananda Jaya Jaya, Devarupa Shanti Data Premananda Jaya Jaya, Paramahamsa Data Data Adbhutananda Jaya Jaya, Gunashila Gunatita Trigunatīta Jaya Jaya, Sada Karma Marmadarshi Abhidananda Jaya Jaya, Vishwa Premi Vimala
Let us meditate for a few moments. Let us sit calmly, peacefully. O Sri Ramakrishna, people become filled with nectar-like bliss when they sing your hymns and get the darshan of your lotus feet. They thus become blessed by coming together near you. O Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we adore you this beautiful evening. Salutations to the Guru who, with the collyrium stick of knowledge, has opened the eyes of one blinded by the disease of ignorance. Salutations to the Guru who has made it possible to realize Him by whom all this world, animate and inanimate, movable and immovable objects, is pervaded.
Hara Hara Maha